Okay, next video. Again, Hero High. Despite time, payment processors are getting destroyed by gamers in response to the censorship. I love you, gamers. I love you. I mean, I'm one of you. I love myself too. Let's hope this is entertaining.
We've got a hilarious update on the payment processor situation. Quick context to this. Early on, when Collective Shout went after payment processors to try and get them to go after Steam, and Steam ended up changing their policies over all this stuff, removing certain adult games. You know the story. Well, people were coming up with ideas to fight back against the payment processors, and one of the ideas that was being shared early on was, for example, as you can see here on our Steam, 5 days ago, how to directly pressure payment processors. If you have a Visa card, go here. Tell Visa you're ticked. We need to directly pressure them. Be nice, don't be rude. Remember, customer service tech you're talking to didn't make the decision, but we need to stand up against censorship. And
Absolutely. Don't be a dick to the people you're calling. They just work there. They have no decision making at all. Customer service has no decision making at all. Ever. They don't. They're probably not even working for Visa. They're working for a call center that is being paid by Visa to do business with them. So be nice to these people. They have a shitty job.
so some people are sharing their testimonials, if you will, their stories about what happened when they contacted these payment processors, and it seems like this is actually on some level working. So this is a good update, and also a hilarious one. So I mentioned there were some testimonials, or however you want to put it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This user saying, Visa card representative yelled at me. I called this number and simply asked about the content guideline. I got, we've been getting thousands of calls. You talked to someone? Who did you call? Other people accepted what I said, so why don't you? And then saying at Visa is cooked. And then we also got this one saying, did what I could today, did some work, called Visa. The man was understanding, put me on hold for 25 minutes. When back, it was a new person who was very tired. I then repeated the whole story, and I could hear the sigh of energy draining when they knew what it was leading to. This one's
Oh my god. They must getting a ton of calls. Jesus Christ.
crazy. Says, I wish this was a joke, but I got called a predator today by a Visa rep. Think I just happened to be called that. Wait, think I just happened to be a call that pushed the woman over. Excuse me. Lodged two formal complaints after that and spun circles on the two calls and was about 25 minutes.
Jesus
Why would
Christ.
you get called a predator though? What the
Jesus
frick, dude?
Christ.
And we've also got this one. Says, had a similar issue on the phone yesterday with Visa, in which they were hyper aggressive. And the woman even tried suggesting that I must have been buying illegal content. What? Before launching into her, I'm going to disconnect the call now script. Wait. So, is the implication here that they're being called like predators and buying illegal content because they're fighting back against these
Yes, yes, that's exactly what's going on. That's exactly what's going on.
restrictions? That seems like the sort of thing like Collective Shout would say. Like I wouldn't expect this from people who are just like Visa hotline people, and I kind of feel bad for them on one hand because like they're just the employees who are not responsible for these policy decisions and whatnot. But like they shouldn't be accusing people of being predators and saying they're buying illegal content and everything. My point is that seems like the sort of thing you would expect Collective Shout to say, right? Like, oh, you're upset with us going after these games, you must be a predator or you must be buying illegal content or something, some nonsensical point like that. But apparently these people are saying that even some of these Visa hotline people are saying stuff like this to them. Maybe I'm misunderstanding this. I'm just trying to make sense of some of these responses that people are apparently getting. And as written here, the folks applying pressure know that someone at a call center has limited power in a scenario like this. Typically, agents are equipped to handle standard customer issues like payment fraud or credit card loss. But the point is not to enact change through a specific phone call. It's to cause enough disruption that the ruckus theoretically starts costing payment processors money. That takes us back over to Japanese politician Zenko Kurishita. As what's written here shows you how Collective Shout went about this and why this strategy that gamers are now using to go after payment processors is essentially fighting fire with fire. So he says,
Yes.
the Australian organization Collective Shout has been pushing for content restrictions on Steam and itch.io. According to records published on their website, they sent 1,067 emails to payment processors like Visa and MasterCard starting in May. If such a number of emails led to regulations that caused around 20,000 adult games to disappear, with reports
20,000. That's a lot. Well, you can still find them.
also indicating that these games were removed from the libraries of users who had previously purchased them, it can only be described as a serious threat to creators and users. Even though there might have been many times more people who felt those works were fine or liked them, what about the effort put in by these creators? They are unilaterally decided without consideration. This asymmetry, along with the lack of transparency and information disclosure, is also a significant issue. And he cites Collective Shout's, presumably their own website here, where they outline some of their strategy as we just went over. And as mentioned, the point to this is, well, if Collective Shout sent around 1,000 emails for that period of a few months or whatever it was, I mean, the internet can do a lot more than that.
Oh,
internet
yes.
can do a lot more than that, man. So it's kind of hilarious seeing these payment processors betting.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone goes crazy and DDoSes their servers. I wouldn't be surprised about that at all. No, it would ruin that guy's life because that's illegal. And doing it to a payment processor, the government really doesn't like that.
The need to Collective Shout. And now it's like, oh, really? Okay, 1K emails and however many phone calls that these Australian feminists may have sent. Well, good luck now with the internet coming after you. Now, as I said before, I think it's completely reasonable speculation that the executives at these payment processors actually have no issue with Collective Shout trying to get them to do this stuff. What I mean more specifically is they want to try and abuse their power and see what they can get away with.
Yes.
So I don't think like the whole Collective Shout.
Because conspiracy theory, they're the same people, they are owned by the same people that own everything else, and they want to establish a one-world government. And how do you do that? By creating dictatorships everywhere in the world that you control, and then you just unite.
Thing worked simply because they annoy these payment processors. No, I think these payment processors also saw this as an opportunity to test how much power and control they have, right? So simply annoying them back doesn't mean that they may start operating in a different way when those executives literally want to try to control the internet. But the point still stands that using this strategy of fighting fire with fire and clogging up their logistics can still harm the company. Here's a testimonial on Steam 4 days ago. This is about an email, so a bit different from the ones we read earlier regarding phone call responses. Says, so I got a response from Visa. Reads, hello, redacted. Thank you for reaching out and sharing your perspective. As a global company, we follow the laws and regulations everywhere we do business. While we explicitly prohibit illegal activity on our network, we are equally committed to protecting legal commerce. If a transaction is legal, our policy is to process the transaction. We do not make more.
We had this in an earlier video, the entire letter. It's all bullshit. The entire letter is bullshit.
Moral judgments on legal purchases made by consumers. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. The OP goes on and like calls that out too. We'll get to that though. Visa does not moderate content sold by merchants, nor do we have what? They really saying that? Visa does not moderate content sold by merchants, nor do we have visibility into the specific goods or services sold when we process a transaction. When a legally operating merchant faces an elevated risk of legal activity, we require enhanced safeguards for the banks supporting those merchants.
Sure.
For more information on Visa's policies, please visit our network integrity page on visa.com, hyperlinked. Thank you for writing, Visa Webmaster. And as mentioned, the OP calls this out. I guess I will just remove myself for a second. It reads, so basically their response was the biggest gaslighting I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Talk about trying to block the sun with one finger.
Yeah.
Never heard that one before. It's funny. They completely deny moderating content even when there's an overabundance of evidence. Anyways, we should keep on pressing the issue. I'll share the template I used on the first comment and the Visa website so you can give them your regards. Just remember to be polite but firm. Also, the template has been modified by me to not have invalid characters and have enough characters to send without issue, but is based on a template another user shared. Now, hypothetically, guys, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but like, if the single goal is to just like clog up their logistics and make things more complicated for the company and all that, that means you could even call them and just like make up some completely like insane story.
Yes, yes, you can do that. You can. You can call them 10 times a day. But what are you achieving in your day when you do that? Like we have seen earlier, a 25-minute call. I mean, do you really want to be in a call for calling them for almost 3 hours per day? Yeah, let's just go with that. 3 hours per day? I don't.
About like a fake fraud case that happened or something, like you don't even need to actually mention that it's about all this stuff, referring to, you know, like the payment process or censorship and whatnot.
Yeah.
You could be like, yeah, dude, my freaking dog was like chewing up my credit card, and then I was trying to take it from his mouth, and like my hand slipped after I like pulled it out. Oh, that sounded kind of weird, but but the credit card like went flying, and some freaking like homeless person picked it up and ran off, and I couldn't catch him. And now I think I'm like worried that there's a bunch of fake, you know, purchases. And then they're like, okay, what's your information so we can help you? It's like, dude, I don't remember. It's on the card. Like, I don't have the card anymore. Like, you got to help me, though. You can just, like, make up the craziest stuff.
That sounds so stupid.
Oh, my gosh. Maybe that's a bad idea, though. Yeah, I'm not
Yes, it
suggesting
is.
anyone actually do that. I'm just saying, though.
They will figure out who you are, and they will probably even save your phone number. Yeah.
And so back on the Reddit thread, someone basically said, like, yeah, man, all you got was a generic response, but I appreciate the effort. And the OP responds to that saying, honestly, I expected nothing, or a generic non-response email about how much they appreciate the feedback and do their best to work it out or something along those lines. What I didn't expect was such a blatant gaslighting attempt / straight up lie. Anyway, nothing new under the sun. I just thought the community might get a kick out of it. And I'll leave it there. Just thought some of this stuff was pretty amusing, and I hope you guys got a laugh out of it.
Yeah.
Despite some bad news lately, there is some wholesomeness with people fighting back together, fighting back against these corrupt companies and these corpos. So yeah, once again, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Consider liking and or subscribing if you enjoyed my coverage. I'll see you in the comments here and in the next one.
Yes, everything you said for me.
So this UK politician got...
We already did a video on that. Yeah. Gamers fighting back. Good work. Good work, guys. I hope you're succeeding. And if you don't want to use MasterCard and PayPal and all that stuff, at least in Germany we have you can buy money packs for Steam in stores, like official stuff. Like with back in the day you had like gift cards. That's it. Gift cards for the Apple Store and stuff like that with money. The same for Steam in Germany. I hope your country has it too. So buy that instead of paying with your credit card. I will do that in the future. See you in the next one. Bye bye.